Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Daily Hunt for Multibaggers. It's Sunday, May 17th, 2026, and we're here to break down the market buzz from yesterday, May 16th. We've got a couple of interesting stocks that popped up on our radar with quite a bit of discussion.
That's right, Ethan. Our AI dug deep into the discussions from yesterday, and while we saw a moderate number of posts overall, the interesting thing is how concentrated the sentiment was around a few key players. We had SoFi Technologies, which showed some real new interest, and Rocket Lab, which, well, it always seems to generate a lot of chatter. Overall, I'd say the market sentiment around these particular tickers feels cautiously optimistic, but with some very clear points of contention, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, Brooke. Definitely a mix of high hopes and some serious number crunching needed. Let's dive right into it. First up, we're talking about SoFi Technologies Inc., SOFI. Now, this one's intriguing because it went from virtually no social media mentions the day before yesterday to a solid 12 posts yesterday. That's quite a jump. The chatter, it's really highlighting their strong growth story. Users are seeing SoFi as a rapidly expanding fintech, growing revenue at over 40% annually, which is just fantastic. They're emphasizing its potential to continue this pace for years to come. Plus, we're seeing strong insider buying, with the CEO reportedly acquiring significant shares, which to me shows real confidence in the company's future. It was a stay away for us just a few weeks ago, but the sentiment seems to be turning.
I hear the optimism, Ethan, and yes, the 42.5% revenue growth is certainly impressive. That's a key performance indicator that grabs attention. And the insider buying? A 12.55% increase in insider shares held is a strong signal, no doubt. However, we also have to look at the full picture. The stock is currently trading closer to its 52-week low at $15.61 compared to its high of $32.73. And while some argue the PE of 34.68 is justified by growth, there's still a debate if that's enormous for a company that some still perceive primarily as a bank. We've seen frustrations from users who've been cutting losses. Also, we can't ignore the recent news about OpenAI entering personal finance with GPT 5.5 integration, which could create a new competitive landscape for SoFi. It was a stay away last month, and while the growth is there, the market is clearly still hesitant.
But Brooke, the PEG ratio is at 1.0, which means that the PE, while seemingly high, is actually quite aligned with its earnings growth rate. That's a strong indicator that it might be fairly valued for its growth potential. This isn't your grandfather's bank, it's a rapidly evolving capital-light fintech. The sentiment suggests a belief in their long-term vision, and this could be a turning point from that previous stay-away rating.
I appreciate the forward-looking perspective, Ethan. The strong growth and justified PEG are compelling. My concern is managing the downside in the face of existing investor frustration and new competitive pressures. However, if those growth figures continue and their capital light model allows for improved net profit margins, it could indeed be a significant opportunity.
So, considering the growth, insider confidence, and that PEG ratio, for SoFi Technologies, SOFI, I'd lean towards a buy. The current market skepticism might just be the entry point.
On balance, I can agree with a buy for SoFi, with the caveat that vigilance on competitive dynamics and continued profitability is crucial.
Transition pause.
Next up, let's talk about Rocket Lab Corporation, RKLB. This company has consistently been a topic of discussion, and yesterday was no different, with 29 posts. The community sentiment is strongly bullish, Ethan. Users are truly convinced this is a generational wealth opportunity, a foundational stock for the space economy.
They are, Brooke, and for good reason. Rocket Lab is a leader in the commercial space sector, with their reliable Electron rocket and the massive potential of their Neutron rocket, which is shaping up to be a true competitor to some of the bigger players. They're building an end-to-end space capability, from launch to satellite manufacturing. Their revenue growth is phenomenal at 63.5%, and recent news points to strategic acquisitions and breakout quarters. Users see this as deeply undervalued compared to the future of the space industry. It was a speculative gamble at times, and even a buy in December, so the optimism is not new.
While the enthusiasm for Rocket Lab is undeniable, and that revenue growth is certainly strong, Ethan, we have to look at the numbers right now. The market capitalization is a hefty $72.21 billion, and the stock is trading very close to its 52-week high, with a current price of $124.77 against a high of $133.78. Most critically, the company is still unprofitable. Their net profit margin is deeply negative at at negative 26.87%, and EPS is at negative 0.32. That's a significant risk for a company at this valuation. And get this, the price-to-book ratio is an astonishing 39.38. That signals an extremely speculative valuation based almost entirely on future unproven potential. We saw this as a stay away just a few days ago, and those fundamentals haven't changed.
But they're investing in growth, Brooke. That's typical for a company with such high growth prospects in an emerging industry. People are looking at the long game, not just the current quarter's earnings. They believe profitability is coming and that the Neutron rocket will be a game changer.
And that's precisely the speculative part. My biggest red flag, however, isn't just the unprofitability or the high valuation. It's the insider trading data. Over the last 6 months, insiders have significantly sold shares, over 3.8 million net shares, representing negative 76% of all shares transacted. When the people with the most knowledge are selling off large portions of their holdings, it strongly contradicts the community's extreme optimism and suggests a lack of confidence in the current valuation. This is a crucial KPI that cannot be overlooked.
That insider selling is definitely a point to consider. It dampens the bullish enthusiasm for sure, even with all the potential.
Given the current unprofitability, the incredibly stretched valuation, and the significant insider selling, for Rocket Lab, RKLB, despite the strong community conviction, our analysis points to stay away. The risks simply outweigh the current fundamental support at this price point.
All right, I can't argue with those numbers, and especially the insider selling. Stay away for Rocket Lab for now. Okay, let's wrap up our look at today's market buzz with a quick roundup. Investigators buy, SoFi Technologies, SOFI. Investigators cautious buy, none. Investigators speculative gamble, Rocket Lab Corporation, RKLB.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode.
Just a quick reminder before we sign off, this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. The content is generated by artificial intelligence and does not constitute financial advice. Listeners should conduct their own research or consult a licensed financial advisor before making investment decisions. We are not responsible for any losses incurred. The market is a wild place and knowledge is your best asset.
Exactly. Thank you for joining us on the Daily Hunt for Multibaggers.
We'll catch you next time.